Hello, and welcome to the third episode.
Yeah.
Of
MXTC. Masculine Excellence Through Christ, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. You're here with Zachy Boy.
And Jakey boy.
That's it, mate. How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, mate.
Good today?
Yeah, I'm satiated. Just had a
Satiated.
good meal. So
Good meal, yeah, bro.
How you doing?
Good. I'm full.
Yeah.
I'm full.
Yeah.
Life's good. I'm tired, but we're here. We're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3.
3. Yeah.
Good today?
Yeah.
You have all your 54 vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, I have, mate. Essential amino acids.
Essential amino acids.
And
that's what they call it.
And the bread of life.
That's it, mate.
Wake
That's
up
it.
and get indulged in it.
That's what we're here for.
That's it.
Just to help you guys come around and get involved in the bread of life, mate.
Come on.
As you can see, we've got a different colour
We do.
light on today.
Well, hopefully you can see. It probably gets washed out with the white.
Yeah, you can see maybe the red shimmer.
The red shimmer.
Red shimmer means we're talking about love.
Love.
Oh man, you're gonna romance me by that, are you?
Oh, maybe.
That's
No intention.
against the law. You can't do that. no one's loving up on me. Rightio, you want to run us through what today's pillar is, mate?
So, obviously, we're going through some of the pillars of masculinity that we've compiled
Yep.
that we believe are essential for
Essential. Yeah.
for just masculinity as a whole, but we've
Deconstructed it.
deconstructed
That's the
them.
word you're looking for.
That's the word I'm looking
I'd
for.
probably say in the way I kind of rationalize this one is it's the foundations. It's the pillars of masculinity. It's the foundations to which us as blokes we need to kind of always have some sort of control over, because if that's the foundation, well, you can only build on top of that. And if you don't kind of have a stable foundation, well,
Exactly, and if we just say masculinity as a whole, maybe some of you go, "Oh, how do I be masculine?" So if we break it down,
yeah,
it just may help you a wee bit with all things
being a man.
being a man.
Yeah. So with the pillars of masculinity, all this is essentially we'll run through. All this is we'll run through a few of things again, like you said.
Bro, you good? HSP's getting to him.
I'm a glutton. After last week's, I'm a glutton, dude. No. So it's just all the the major societal issues that kind of take us off course.
Yep.
And we want to, again, like always, just recorrect ourselves back to the line of Christ, and that's what we're here to do. Today's episode is called The Lover.
The lover.
The Lover.
I'm sure plenty of you out there are specialists in this.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Or think you are.
Oh, and neither are we. We're definitely not special.
Oh, no, not at all. We're far from it.
So today's episode is The Lover. Last week was The Warrior. Just kind of gonna go through things, especially us men, really have issues with.
Yeah.
Right? And this is a spiritual issue.
Yeah.
Whereas last week we had that kind of that physical issue,
Mm-hmm.
which is of the body.
Mm-hmm.
This one can and may affect your salvation.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely something that we need to get under control.
Could you explain to me what a lover is?
What a lover is.
Yeah. What is a lover?
Are we going to go
biblical?
biblical?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lover is somebody, and I said this on our pilot. A lover is somebody that doesn't accept. Now, what I mean by that is, if you guys have seen the first episode, you can either love somebody or you can either accept them. You just can't do both. If you love somebody, you're going to tell them the truth. You're going to be honest with them. You're going to pull them up where they need correction. You're going to say, hey, you know what? Let's rethink about that and be accountable. Apologize. You're somebody who's loving is going to tell them the hard truths of things.
Yeah.
Now, on the opposite of that is accepting somebody. If you accept somebody, you're just going to let them go. You're going to let them run loose.
Great.
So a lover is somebody that puts in the hard yards to be truthful to somebody that's in their proximity.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, if you just let them go, that's just acceptance, and you don't really love them because you don't really care on where they go. Is that a?
Yeah, I love that.
Like that one?
Now apply it to the world. Is it still the same, or do you think it changes?
It changes.
Yeah.
People, it's the opposite.
Okay.
I think,
Elaborate.
Yeah, I think in the world, accepting somebody is how they show love.
Okay.
And this is crazy. Everything that God makes, the devil twists.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
Dude, what was that? I just was like,
slay. Bro. Oh man. Man, I gotta rebuke you in the name of the Lord, brother. Never do that again.
But there was so much sass in that as
Oh,
well.
man, it's this red light. It's making you act up. You're in love, brother.
Anyway, guys.
Yeah. Back to masculinity.
Back to the masculine talk. There's my
But
lover coming out.
Yeah, it's
dude.
your lover coming out, man. Jeez. But yeah, no, I think it's crazy. God makes something, Satan just twists it.
Yeah.
And he can't create anything. Satan can't create anything. He doesn't have that power. All he does is turns it around and makes it palatable for the people. People, that's the thing. God loves. He's going to tell people the truth. He's going to rebuke people. He's going to call them into action. He's going to tell them off. Satan is like, oh yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. You can do whatever you want. You can love whoever you want, and you can do all this hedonistic and debaucherous acts.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all good. I can have sex with as many people as I want. No worries.
Yeah.
You're living your life. It's fun. We accept things. We accept too many things.
Yeah.
Too PC, man.
Yeah.
Too PC. Brain dead. Here's an interesting one.
Okay.
I love this saying.
Yeah.
Be open-minded, but don't let your brain fall out.
Be open-minded. Don't let your brain fall out.
Yeah. So you can have a bit of, let's think about this and let's maybe recorrect how I think and change my perspective on things, but not too much where your whole brain falls out, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't be like these
Bots.
NPCs, mate. Non-playable characters. Cowards. The thin-wristed people. Fellas, don't do it. What about you, Jakey? What are your thoughts on the old, what does a biblical lover look like? Did I even answer that?
I think you did.
Did I?
Yeah, well, I sort of agree with you. I couldn't add anything from the top of my head to what you said. I like
the father's love.
Yeah.
That's how I'd answer that. Yeah.
God is love. We see that in countless times. God is
Yeah.
love, and it's about showing that love to people. It's a bit more of a sensitive side to us.
Yeah.
The emotional side.
We have these innate desires to love.
Yep.
And we have these innate desires to do things. Once the flesh takes hold of those desires, you're in deep water.
Yeah.
So if you love from a place of, again, a Christ-centered approach, you're not going to fall into that lust. You're not going to fall into that trap. You know what I'm saying? So we want to love. We want to be in relationship, whether it's brotherhood, whether it's, for you ladies, sisterhood, whether it's relationships. We want to be in a relationship. Yeah. And this is an interesting stat. You know where it's from?
Stats.com.
Stats.com, brother. How many times do you hear, I'm going to work on my physical aspect? Last week we were talking about physical things. Yeah. It's funny that our physical side isn't actually, it to some degree it is, but our physical side is not the key contributor to longevity. Yeah. It's our relationships.
Yep.
So if we have well-sustained, well-loved relationships, that's a bigger contributor to longevity and overall happiness of life. This is an interesting thing, and lust is lust regardless of what orientation you are. Lust is lust. I can't condemn someone who chooses to love this way, but then I sin by falling to lust. Yeah. It's the same thing. Lust is lust. Doesn't matter. So I can't rebuke somebody because they love somebody different to me when I'm falling into the same sin. Does that make sense? So that's an interesting one. That's something that I've battled with.
Is lust?
No, like just that. Well, that. Yeah. But just condemning somebody to say, "Oh, you're absolute this, and this," and you're condemning them using the word. But I do the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Like how could someone do that? Like Christ said, man, take the beam out of your own eye first before you look at the speck in somebody else's. Would you feel comfortable in elaborating on the lustfulness that you struggle? Like maybe some examples. Oh yeah, man. Like, if you're comfortable. Yeah. Am I comfortable? I'm comfortable with you and the how many people that watch. Mum, don't watch this. No, man. Like, and you know what too? Every other bloke on the planet knows it as well. Your dad even said it. God made women beautiful. Yeah. It's hard, dude. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to look away sometimes. It's hard to be like, oh man, just it's hard to do sometimes. Yeah. And like every dude knows it. And to say that you haven't just gone like, bruh, you're a walking liar, man. Like it is what it is. The issue comes when I say to myself, nah, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. I'm good. I'm watching pornography. I'm engaging in devious sexual acts. Someone once said to me, your biggest sin is your biggest justification. Ooh. Please tell me more. Exactly what you said. It's
no, this is okay. This is okay. It's okay. I'm fine. This is healthy.
Yeah.
I can control it.
Does that stem from pride?
Yes.
See, and salvation, and a salvation issue is where you have to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very so the biggest sin is what? The one you have to justify?
Is your biggest sin is your biggest justification.
Wow.
I don't know who said it, but
That's a heavy
someone
hitter.
at my church said it.
Because if you unpack that, the root of that is pride.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because it's a journey that I've been on for a very long time.
Journey?
The lustful journey.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Would I say I've kicked it out of the system? Potentially.
Yeah.
I still do catch myself sometimes, with the cheeky eye.
Yeah.
But I would honestly say let's go grade 7, roughly. From grade 7,
it's always.
How old was I in year 7?
13?
13. We'll say 13 to, we'll call it 24. When I was 24, I reckon I watched porn almost every day, dude.
Bruv.
Almost every day.
It's a sickness, isn't it?
When I actually stopped and was like, hang on,
Wait a second.
we all know it's bad.
Yeah.
We all know it's bad.
But see, this is the thing. People don't know that it's bad. That's what we need to get into the root of the issue and uncover why people think it's okay to do things like that.
Dude, relationship with my friends and family, definitely drastic change.
Yeah.
My mental clarity in the way I think and look at women, they're not objects. They're sisters, bro.
Yeah, it's different.
It's like, we spoke about it, was it last week or week before? These women, every single one of them on a screen or whatever you're watching on is
it's an object, man.
They're treated as objects.
Yeah.
And they're just used and manipulated in ways for men's desires. And that's what I do not like. And when I stopped myself and said, hang on, God made this woman, I literally stopped and never again.
Yeah.
Never again.
100%, man. And this is the thing, like, we're not here to be white knights. We're telling you the honest truth from a young man's perspective. We're not here to, we're trying to console the ladies and trying to, be that weird white knight, dude. It's the God honest truth. It is, like, that's what happens. Like, and what's interesting is people won't understand that. People won't understand how that lust kind of goes away and that desire for sexual acts and that deviant stuff goes away when you start looking for Christ.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy. People don't understand. It's like, how could you be in a relationship that has no sex? Or how can you be in a relationship or how can you be single and not watch porn and that kind of stuff? People forget that there's a life outside of this.
Yeah.
And people just think, I'm just so drawn into it. I'm just absolutely sucked into it. Pornography is the iconography of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It is going to destroy everything you do, destroy every thought that you have. It is going to warp every thought, every word that you say. It's destructive.
Mm-hmm.
You look at somebody else like they're a object.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And it just ruins your brain, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's rot, mate.
Yeah.
It's rot. It's tough. And look, everyone goes through it, guys and girls. Everyone goes through it. You get introduced to it at what 13 years old,
Probably
even younger
now, dude.
Yeah, man.
They're on the vapes as soon as they're born, dude.
Yeah,
they're out of the womb and just no breast milk. It's just straight on the vapes.
Just vape nutrients.
Exactly.
Pineapple Express.
It's sad, man. But from this, if I could help any bloke out there to throw this and kick this habit out.
What would your advice be?
Firstly, to replace that desire with Christ and understand Christ's desire for you and the heart and the relationship. It wasn't until I had a relationship with Christ and understood his love for me and the nature of him that I replaced the worldly love for a Christ love.
Right.
And I was just like, look, I don't enjoy this at all.
Yeah.
I'm stopping. That desire has gone for 2+ years and literally never again. And the way you go out at a, I don't know, dinner, bar, whatever. Yeah. My whole mindset has totally changed.
Yeah.
Dude. It's a 180. It's like this worldly view of wow to like, I appreciate the way she was created.
Yeah, but see, again, people don't understand what the difference is. You don't understand what the difference is until that change happens in your head. Like, it's so hard to explain to you guys how destructive porn is until you come off it. It's an addictive substance.
It is, man.
Yeah, it's an addictive substance. And I'm glad that you raised it. Like, you have to, because there's no other way. You have to focus that love towards Christ.
Yeah.
delete that lustful thing. Look for Christ only. And and I'll say this a million times. The whole point of Christianity is not to force yourself, or you can't will yourself to stop sinning. It's the love of Christ that your desires to sin starts to deplete.
Yeah, so good.
You know, like you're not going to will yourself to stop watching porn. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That little whisper.
Yeah.
If you're on Instagram is essentially a softcore porn website.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, how many relationships have ended? Guys are liking Instagram models, thingos, and
that's actually a really good point. And that was the first step of implementing it, is removing every social media temptation. It's going, okay, this sounds super, super weird, but I'll replace it with just dudes in the gym. Like, so my feed is just muscly dudes. So there is absolutely nothing going on in this mind.
Yeah.
And anytime an ad pops up, it's like, dude, I dislike this ad.
Yeah.
You know, you can press that button.
Yep.
But as you said, it's replacing the thoughts with Christ's thoughts.
Yeah.
We have the mind of Christ.
Yep. And that's the thing. We said this a couple of weeks ago. Occupying your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Occupy your mind with something else. Like, you know, it's so cringe, but every time the thought pops up in your head, do 10 push-ups.
Yeah.
Like, just occupy. Don't be in situations that tempt you. Don't be in your room by yourself at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Go to bed, man. We're doing at 3 a.m.
Honestly,
anyway. Unless you're reading the scriptures.
I was going to say, read the word, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Read the word. There's so much power in it.
Oh, man.
And this is something I'm willing to say for everyone, but I remember the last Tinder date I had, dude.
Oh.
And there's a topic we can go into, is Tinder.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait on that one, but we can explain it. Yeah.
The last Tinder date I went on years and years ago, I remember in the act of we know what.
Yeah.
I remember hearing this voice in my head, and I am so convinced it is like Christ's voice, the word of the Lord that just came to me. We all know what you think in the middle of doing the act.
Yeah.
You know, you should be full of joy, right?
The sideways salsa.
But I remember, do you enjoy this, Jake? Is this satisfying you? And I literally stopped and said no. And I told this woman, sorry, I'm going home. And I literally got in the car, drove home, never again.
Really?
I got baptized the next day and gave my life to Christ.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's
Bless
it,
up,
man.
brother. That's a big story.
Yeah.
That's a big testimony. We love it, bro. We love it. That's a. Thanks, Jake, for sharing that.
It's all right.
Love it, man.
Again, if I can help, if what we speak about helps any single person, just one person,
that's one soul closer, man.
that's it.
Yeah, 100%. This is a topic that we are going to emphasize. It's probably one of the hardest struggles for Christian men.
Okay.
I don't see any topic harder than this. It is wired into us. It is, first of all, it's in our nature. Second of all, it's our nervous system is under fire. You click on Instagram, you see something, and that just kind of just snowballs down. Before you know it, you're 10 minutes with your pants on your ankles. You know? That it's tough, man. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough. And this is another good one. Now, you boys, I know. You like that joke? You did it. Have a drink, brother. Have a drink.
Did he compose?
You boys
wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Sorry, gotcha. You sucker punch. You boys know how hard it is, right? No pun intended. You guys already know how.
Oh, bro, can I put that in, please?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. You boys already know how hard it is to talk to your mates already and express things. This is a crucial element of getting rid of that. If you now make somebody else responsible for that desire, in the sense that, Jakey, I've got a problem. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you about it. While it's embarrassing for me to tell you, now you can keep me under account. Mm-hmm. Because now if I say, oh, yeah, you're lying to yourself, you're lying to one of your best mates. Yeah. And then they can keep you accountable as well. Yeah. So, yet while it's hard to talk to your mates about, oh yeah, man, my girlfriend broke my heart, this and that, whatever, you know, just the general male chit chat that we don't really have. Mm-hmm. This is a huge one, and so this one, because it is an embarrassing thing, you need to do it.
Yeah.
You need to do it. It's the one that you have to talk about and say,
bring what's in the dark into the light.
yeah, man. Yeah. And the moment you start justifying it, rebuke it, man. Just be like, nah, I'm justifying this behavior.
Yeah.
Look, man, how many times have you said, like, even if you guys aren't Christian, how many, this whole no fap thing, you know, it's been around on the internet for a long time, you know? How many non-Christian people will be like, oh man, you know, I'm going to stop. No, not November. No, well, that kind of stuff, right? How many times do you just fail it? How many times do you just fail it? You know why? Because you're justifying it, one, and because you don't have anybody else being accountable for you.
It's funny you say that on that. I know someone, I told him about my testimony of essentially being clean from porn, and I told him, mate, if you could go the next 3 months, I'll give you $500. He failed that night.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
He said he just couldn't.
It's
once that little
seed
voice
man.
in your head.
That's it. And you got to get rid of that. That's got to be replaced with something else. And that's where Christ comes in. If your whole mindset is saying, nah, I'm not going to do this. 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 You're never going to get over it.
Yeah, it's like you can't stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop it from nesting in there.
Correct. Ah, brother. Yeah. You got the good ones today, man.
You're just receiving yours from last week.
Oh, man. Jeez, you got some good one-liners too, man. These are some good clips. 100%, man. You can change your environment. You can change your mental thoughts. You can call yourself out when you see, you know, a good-looking gal, and you're like, nah.
Yeah.
Pull the pin out of your head.
Yeah.
Just all right. We're not going to deal with that.
Yep.
We can go on forever and we can say, you know, girls, they dress like this, and you know, you girls will start foaming at the mouths every time I say something about women, right? So I'm not going to say much, you know, but it's us.
Yeah.
It's us. We don't have to respond that way to the world. We can say, I'm responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for the way I think. I don't really care what they do. It's me that's got to be responsible. Me has got to be responsible.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
There's no more, no less. Self-control. Yep. We'll get away from the old pornography. Yeah. We know it's the iconography of the devil. Something that we can kind of skip past and figure out. Not skip past. I missed that. We can skip past it for now. Let's move into something health related. So we talk about sexual health in a worldly sense, you know. You got contraceptives and das and da, right? That's a worldly sense of sexual health.
Yeah.
What does sexual health mean to us as Christians? Where does that stem from? I can answer it first if you want, just so you can get a concept of what I'm talking about. Yep. Sexual health in the sense of who we connect with, right? So sexual health for us would be in the sense of soul ties, like emotional trauma and emotional bonds, who we entangle our relationships with.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. The bargaining chips we use from ourselves with other people. We kind of let people have bits of ourselves. So what are your thoughts on that? What does sexual health for Christians look like?
Well, sex is just such a taboo topic in Christianity even. It's just something that's never really talked about.
Except in Song of Solomon.
But I just mean within a church environment.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like
it's
they
won't talk about it at all.
You don't want to talk about it, but it's such a vital thing to talk about.
100%.
Bring it to the light. Say, hey, we have such young, and that's probably what not led me down the wrong path, but when I was first introduced to Christianity, I know I definitely lacked the wisdom from other maybe people that were on the journey from giving me wisdom about healthy sexual relationships or healthy relationships even. I just wasn't discipled enough, I don't think, in that, and pulling me up and mentoring me and saying, hey, how you going with this? How is your sexual relationships?
No one asks that, do they?
Yeah, I know. But it's such a vital thing for young boys because, I don't know, our testosterone's through the roof.
You're raging, bro.
Most blokes, that's all they think about from
dusk till dawn, mate.
Yeah, it's like women. That's just on their brain.
Yeah, like it's literally everything I do is for women. Yeah. Like I wake up, I go to gym, get strong. Look, bro. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you. You blokes that go to the gym for girls, you're getting attention from more dudes. The dudes are looking at you. They're like, oh man, nice,
nice biceps.
Nice biceps, brother.
Yeah. We've all been on a journey, and I know from personal experience, I just wasn't discipled enough into the sexual side of things. And if I could go back and give myself advice, it would be to talk about it so much because it is such a vital aspect.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, it's an embarrassing thing to talk about. But
why is it embarrassing?
It's embarrassing.
Why does it have to be embarrassing?
Because it is, man. Like, you know, you're not going to go talk to your mum and your dad about, oh man, when you're 15, oh mum, I got this problem. You know, I watch this type of content.
But I wish I had that relationship with my parents to do that.
Yeah, but is that the case? Is that the case more often than not? Like, you know, we don't have those type of relationships, and then it's a taboo topic for the parents to talk about the birds and the bees with their kids.
True.
You know,
true.
It's they don't really want to talk about it, and then this is the problem. If you guys are parents, engage in that conversation, because if you don't engage in that conversation, guess who's doing it? Timmy Turner from grade 6 telling your grade 5 son, oh yeah, I watched this. Look at this video that I've got, right?
Yeah.
And then now it's like this web of neurons activate, and he's just down this. Then that's what happens. You get stuck.
I had people very, very close to me encouraging me, and I'm talking very, very close.
Yeah.
Encouraging me that one night stands, like go out and have fun.
Ooh, okay, let's talk about this.
I did. And it was celebrated, right? Like, these people celebrated me, saying, yeah, good on you, man. Like, go and have fun, do whatever you need to do. And then a few years later, I was like, hang on, none of this is actually filling that void like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And I turned away. And those people still disagree with that, that waiting till marriage.
Yeah.
They don't agree or accept that.
Yeah. See, I've never been on that. Like, I've never done like a one night. I've come from quite a conservative family.
Boy, man.
No, I'm definitely not a good boy. Like, I've come from a very conservative family. Been only in relationships. I've never had those kind of experiences, so I don't really know much about it. I'm assuming it's just this weird, awkward experience that no one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're trying to lust upon somebody, and it's like,
had I not done those things though, would I be where I am today? Not sure, but I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, okay. That's an interesting topic, because we're in a community now, or in a society now, where sex is such a prominent part of relationships and how we go about regular life. Yeah. And bless up, man. And when I say bless up, I mean bless up to all people who are remaining chaste and remaining virgins, blokes and chicks. Bruv, hats off.
Yeah.
Keep it that way.
Looking back, I so wish I did, man.
But you know what the issue is? They're in groups. If they go to school, they're so peer pressured, right? And they're bullied, maybe.
Dude, I was that guy bullying other people, saying,
do it.
There you go.
Okay, there you go. So you're on the other side of it.
Yeah.
That's wild. We're forcing young adults, teenagers, to do certain things that are against their own beliefs. So how do we help the young chaste individuals who want to remain that way? How do we help them to say it's not worth it, and don't let that seed of doubt just grow and grow and grow? It's like, oh man, I got to do it. How do we teach them, and how do we say it's okay not to, and it's better for you? God made it that way.
Besides anecdotally from our experiences, giving you guys our personal experiences, our anecdotal evidence.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's just a relationship with Christ. Yeah. Honestly, what do you value more? It's having a firm foundation in Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. As simple as that.
Honestly, yeah. You could hear my story, you could hear Zach's story, you could hear your dad's story, your uncle's story. You could hear 10 blokes' story. Uncle Colin. You could hear 10 blokes' story of...
That's an Easter egg, Colin. Whenever Colin pops up, they're going to know, who the heck's Colin?
We need T-shirts, Colin.
It's going to be our cat, Uncle Colin.
Colin is not king.
Yeah, Colin is not king. Christ, not Colin. That's a good one.
Or Colin.
Colin. Christ is not Colin. Continue, brother. Sorry.
You could look at so many anecdotal evidence and you probably still wouldn't be convicted.
Mm-hmm.
But until I had that firm foundation and my life is constantly built upon the life of Jesus and being more and more like him, that's when I was like, yeah, I need to make a change.
Do you reckon everyone goes through this? As in, it's okay to have that first initial stuff up and then go into...
Oh, well, we stuff up with everything.
But like, do we just accept that, young adults are going to be like, you know what, I'm going to go out and have my fun.
And
quote
then
unquote,
find their feet.
Yeah, quote unquote, hoe phase, and then come to the realization. And when I say hoe phase, it's non-gender specific.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Do we just say, you know what, it's fine, go, or do we stamp it out in the butt and say, no, we should like, learning from my experience and what I've learned, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we just tell them that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so, because we could provide the same thing with drugs. We could say, don't do it. Personally, I've done it.
Oh,
I don't think it's worth
I've never
it.
done drugs.
You've never done drugs. You are a good boy.
No, I'm not.
Like,
You know what saved me? Occupying my mind with sport.
wow. Okay.
That's what saved me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm like, my parents are overly like, well, they are conservative. My mum is quite conservative. But yeah, sport has been a lifesaver.
That's
in that sense.
great.
Like, and you would have thought that being in like a high sport environment, I'd go out and do this and that. But I've always been like, oh, game time is Saturday, or game time is Sunday morning, or game time. I've always trying to be ready for it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of saved me. That's in that sense. I've always had that occupying something else.
But I just think I just was in a bit of a. It's
a pickle, man.
Story for another time. But the situation I was in, I was just bored, unhappy, and essentially parenting myself.
Yeah.
So when I'm lost, it's like, well, this was obviously before Christ.
BC,
JBC, Jake before Christ. So
acronyms.
So it's, I know why I did it. Actually, you know what actually got me into it? A lady. I did it because I was trying to impress a lady.
Do what?
I took drugs for the first time. I'd never taken drugs until like early 20s, and then I took it for the first time. I took it for the first time because I was trying to impress someone.
See, it's always for women.
Yep.
And we're not saying this is not a jab at women. It's more so men start to compromise values.
Exactly. Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep.
We at the expense of ourselves.
Yep.
We're trying to impress. We're trying to impress worldly women.
Yep.
And that just destroys us. If you have that thought of being a Christian man and you're halfway convicted, right? And then you compromise your values for a worldly woman, you're done. You're done. You're just done.
Yeah. And looking back, dude, it's, again, I don't know if I'd be here. The same story. I still remember going to church. It was like, before I had made the commitment, I was just started to go to church. I was like, wow, I enjoy this environment. Yeah. I remember sitting in the chairs, dude, at church, hungover, done an all-nighter, and still off my face. Yeah. And going, yeah, this needs to stop. Like, I can't come and praise the Lord and give him my heart and say, yeah, I'm here.
The night before you just...
And the night before I was just...
drinking out of gutters.
Yeah. Big nights.
Yeah. But it is what it is, man. Like, you've learned from that experience, and we can at least give some insight on what it's there's no void it fills. Yeah. Yes, I've had my big nights too. I've had those. I haven't done anything like wild, and I've never been, actually there is a story about when I was drunk. Don't want to do it. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Okay.
Got drunk once, right? Thought I could... Everyone knows what Arbury is. Arbury afloat.
Oh, yeah. Well, those in Melbourne.
From the train station, if you walk out a bit, there's like a little... I guess it's like a path that runs along the water.
Yeah.
Me off my face, drunk. Thought I could jump to the pontoon or like the platform in the water. Bruv, ended up 3/4 of my body drenched. Everyone took me...
But you're swimming in the Yarra.
I was.
You're like them e-bikes.
Yeah. Ended up swimming in the Yarra. They sent me home in the Uber, and I had to pay for the Uber ticket back because all the damage, because it stunk, man. Who knows what's in the Yarra?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it wasn't... Yeah. It's when I had shaved head. It's when I was like weird.
Oh, yeah. You would have been an absolute air bro.
Oh, bruh. No, I was never air Never gutter stomped anyone.
No. Okay.
Curb stomping people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, just dumb things. Just
Yeah.
like it. What for, man? Like what for? I could have died. Like it's so innocent, but you know you can't swim. You're drunk. Your mates are drunk.
Yeah.
Everything's gone upside down, and you end up face first in the water. What then? What?
Just speaking out loud.
You sound like an idiot. We sound like idiots.
Probably, but I think it just reminds me, and this is off the top of my head. If I really thought about this, maybe it would change. I think every dumb decision, major dumb decision that I've made, like beginning to take drugs, or other silly things where I go, yeah, that was a very pivotal moment in my life where I made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Like I know. I think every single one of them involved a woman. Almost, I couldn't name one just off the top of my head that didn't.
Yeah.
Everything where I compromised my values involved a woman.
Yeah. Not saying that women are bad.
No, not at all.
Chill.
It was me trying to impress.
Yeah. You're trying to impress a worldly woman who doesn't understand your value system, and you're trying to get with her, and you're just compromising your values. That's literally all it is.
Yeah.
Right. So, and this is again very, very, very pivotal thing. Stop trying to impress worldly women. Stop doing it. It's not going to work, dudes. Because you're going to end up in this space where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
You're lukewarm.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to be a lukewarm. And then your values change. And then when the woman that you want, who's a Christian woman, asks you about, hey, what did you do back then? Now you're in some dark territory. You're in some, oh man, I did this. She does it like, look, you know, Christ forgives sins, but people don't sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? It's tough. You have to sleep with the consequences sometimes. Unfortunately, that's how it is. So if she's gonna knock you back for some dumb decisions you did, I don't blame her, man. Bad decisions you make. You gotta live with the consequence.
Yeah.
That's it. Sin. There is a wage for sin.
On that, what's a biblical woman then?
A biblical woman or a biblical?
No,
okay.
In your eyes, what would you say a biblical woman looks like?
Dude, the first one that comes to my head, we're talking about like Proverbs 31. Like that's going to be that's going to be the first one. In terms of biblical, like a specific person.
No, I just think.
What does it look like?
Yeah. Don't say Bathsheba.
No. A biblical woman started in the Garden of Eden, man. She was designed to be a helpmate to her spouse. Now, the interesting thing about this wording is not to say that she's an assistant or a lapdog. It's actually funny because someone who's a helpmate implies someone needs help.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
We can't do it alone.
Yeah.
We need help.
So good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And vice versa. A role as men and women is not to see what I can get from people and relationships and the opposite gender, opposite sex, right? How can I serve them and honor them in this relationship? Because if I can serve them and honor them, it's just going to be reciprocal.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So the goal is not to extract and be a resource extractor. It's to offer yourself up as a sacrifice and be a servant to that person.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what a biblical relationship looks like. And in terms of a biblical woman, someone who is that helpmate to someone who needs help. She is our rib. The rib is there to protect vital organs. Yeah. They are our spiritual healer. They are our spiritual nurturer. You know, when we're out there, you know, fighting old John McDonald boss and he's just giving us grief.
Yeah.
You know, the difference between us coming home in a hectic mood and not is an amazing woman that just has a peaceful home or has a space that we can just kind of sink into.
Yeah.
Bruv, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Like you don't. I'm happy to go out there and just slave away 3, 4, 5 jobs. That's fine. It's just if I come to your space, you are my safe space. Yeah. That's it. That's all it needs to be. It's nothing more than that. I'm not asking you to jump over hoops and this and that and look this, that. No.
I think a great thing is to go back to the vows that are commonly said at a wedding.
Yeah, so like just holding strong to the vows. Obviously, again, we've never been married. You married dudes probably know better than us. Well, you definitely know better than us. You know, and if you're a Christian, you uphold them with the highest standard. Like that's your job. That's your duty.
While I think of it, and I don't want to write it down. Just while I think of it, there's this amazing course I know blokes can do. It's called Valiant Man.
Oh, okay.
And it's run by Dr.
Not sponsored.
No, not at all. Run by Dr. Alan Meyer, and it just talks about almost everything we've spoken about, but in surely like a more professional,
high production setting.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Search it up. Life Keys Valiant Man, because if you are a man that's struggling with things that we're talking about now, it's actually a course that you can do to help men do this.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Valiant Man.
Valiant
by
Man.
Dr. Alan Meyer.
Not sponsored.
Not at all.
Sponsor us though.
I know so many blokes that did it
Yeah.
and came out such different men.
Yeah.
I'm talking different, dude. They went in worldly men, thinking they were like of God, came out
Different.
poor man.
Okay. That's very interesting. All right. I might give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Never heard it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to the topic before, I had a question for you. What does a worldly relationship look like, and what does a Christian-based relationship look like?
A worldly based relationship is what can I get out of you, I think. What can I what can I get out of you?
I do that too good.
You do. You practice, dude.
No, in the mirror, man. Vanity from last week.
Yeah, like personal experience. I look back. Relationship, you get a bit of sex out of it. You get some comfort. It's all just
It's what I got.
What do I get? Not often did I think about what can I give you?
Yeah.
And I think that's where it changes. We think of that triangle. You know, the triangle of
the old me, you, and God triangle.
Me, you, and God triangle. That is such a fantastic representation of what a fantastic
Christian relationship.
of what a Christian relationship should look like.
Okay.
Where you've got you've got your spouse or girlfriend or partner, and then you've got God on the top as a triangle. And the closer you get to God,
together, that is
together.
Yeah.
The closer you are together.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, if you start to be in the Word, be in worship together, go to church together, do specific things together that glorify God, the closer you're going to get to the top of that triangle, which is God.
Yeah.
And the closer you'll be together.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome analogy.
And it's everything you do is for God, so it's not for yourself.
Right.
So when you do something for God, you're unintentionally doing it for someone else.
Yeah. So with that being said, can you glorify God? Or is it glorifying God that you serve your partner?
Yes. Oh, for sure, dude.
Okay. So that is an act of faith.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. So by being that honoring person and being a partner who's subservient, or not subservient, who's submitted to Christ, both of you being submitted to Christ, and you submit to one another.
Yep.
That's an act of worship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yep.
Love it. How as partners can you work together to get closer to the top of that triangle that you were talking about?
How as partners?
Yeah. Because there's no point you and the missus who never, like, if you're both working at different perspectives of the relationship, if you're unequally yoked, that's the Christian jargon.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you're unequally yoked, how does that play in? Because obviously one person gets closer to Christ, and the funny thing is, if you look at an equilateral triangle, or you brainiacs out there, equilateral, search it up. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, if you move closer to one point, you're
further away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, equilateral, or is it equidistant?
No, I'm pretty sure you're talking right. Anyway, just say a triangle.
Yeah, the triangle. Obviously, if one person moves closer to one point, like, you're getting further away.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense, you know. So you want to be moving together towards the top of the point. So what activities, not activities, but what behaviors could you start to employ to help you edify each other?
So I did a pre-marriage course many years ago, and one great thing I got out of that was this is just a course you do, like when you're thinking of getting married, or it's, you know, the time's coming, etc., etc. It's just very, very valuable. So when you enter a relationship, or if you're even in one, you know how to then begin working on it in an appropriate manner, a godlike manner. understanding someone's love language, I think, is very, very vital.
Interesting. Is that a worldly thing?
Look,
Or is it one of those things you take with a grain of salt?
look, it's. I think it's something that brings them some form of satisfaction or feel. It's how they feel loved and understanding how they actually feel loved and how you can appropriately give them love.
Right.
Because the way that you may receive love, and I say, Zach, I love you.
Yeah.
You might be like, thanks, bro. Like that honestly doesn't hit home.
Yeah.
Whereas if I, touched your hand, which I'm not going to do, and you like the physical touch, it's like that God and that
Adam. Yeah.
If I touch your hand, that's how you receive love, the physical touch.
So what you're saying is sometimes people love the way that they want to be loved to their partner, but that doesn't. That's not received right by the partner because that's not how they get loved.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So I think there's 5. Let's search them up. I can't.
Acts of service.
Yeah.
Physical touch. Quality time.
Words of affirmation.
Gifts,
Gifts.
brother. You're right. Yeah.
So if you understand those 5 and how you can give love and how you receive love, that is very, very important from get-go. So then, if you could constantly tell your lady, hey, I love you, but that's actually
doesn't hit home.
It's not how she receives love.
Correct. Yeah.
Whereas if you constantly give her gifts, that's how she feels loved and appreciated.
And I find that an interesting thing, and you trying to kind of just touch it before. Sometimes we love them the way we want to be loved, and they never receive it.
Yeah,
they never receive it. And the whole point of relationships, coming back to that being having servitude and honoring your partner, is being humble enough. And again, humility is a salvation issue.
Yep.
Right. Being humble enough, and because serving your partner is an act of worship in the image of God, right? Humbling yourself enough to say, I know that it's not how I want to be loved, and that's not how I want to show you love. Yeah. But I'm going to do it anyway because I love you. Yeah. And I love this relationship, and I love that it's under the bounds of Christ. So if you can act in a humble way, lower yourself to enough to say, it's not how I want to show it, and it's not how I want to give it, but I'm going to do it because you want it. That's
like gifts is a sucky one because you're just constantly out of pocket.
He's in it walking with a limp.
It's a big rim, that one, but
it is what it is, man. That's why we work.
I think that's a first step, and then obviously understanding and building a relationship upon Christ, doing everything sort of going back to Christ, like loving on your wife, just appreciating her.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Let's take it back a bit, and how we can do that for people in relationships, because being a wife and being a girlfriend, or being a husband and being a boyfriend, is completely different.
Oh yeah.
Because now you've thrown in the act of sex into the husband-wife aspect. Okay. How do we take it back, and how do we fight off those desires? As a boyfriend and girlfriend.
The way that I have done it in the past is getting someone that can keep you accountable, like we spoke to before. Yeah. Or this may sound cringe and whatever. These mentors, a couple mentors, they were just a couple that are amazing husband and wife of faith. Yeah. And they said, we want to mentor you in how to build a healthy relationship. They've been married 50 plus years. They have a contract that you both sign and say, yep, we will
kind of mentor you. And
we'll mentor you, but also I am signing this and acknowledging that I am here to invest in my relationship and am willing to set boundaries up. Yeah. And boundaries is very, very important. So things that I have beginning to take in places. I'll not drive in a car with a woman alone. So me and a woman will not drive alone in a car. Yeah. Look, I'm not some maniac that starts licking his chops and is like, this is fantastic. Like, I'm going to jump on this moment. Yeah. It's just, hey, I'm a man, you're a woman. We're made to...
Yeah, it's going to be like that. And especially if you're single, she's single. Yeah. And if she's slightly attractive or attractive and you find her attractive...
That's right.
You're going to start thinking things.
Yeah. And I don't want anything of the sort. Yeah. Like anyone looking or thinking of anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really, really key. And then there's other things that, put boundaries up. Hey, you're not allowed in my room, which is something I did in the past.
Yep.
Rooms out of bounds, being alone in a room, just doing.
Yeah, so have the boundaries.
Having
don't come
boundaries.
to my room. Yep.
Having boundaries, telling other people what the boundaries are.
Yep.
And then bring them in, and then them just constantly checking up on you. Like, hey, how you going with that?
Yeah.
And it goes back to the discipleship program. It's what I learned from being a single man and just fighting every desire that I struggle with to going, okay, I'm now in a relationship. Those desires are still there, man.
Yeah.
Except now that I have a woman, that is, her eyes are for me and my eyes are for her.
Yep.
How can we battle it? And the first thing I did was get a mentor and said, this is what I missed when I was a young man and single.
Yep.
I just don't think anything in life should be done alone. That's the point of community and having
relationships.
Yeah. And that's what I love about church.
Yeah.
Or Christ-like-minded people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Christ-like.
Is that they're here to build you up and edify you.
Yep.
They're not going to lead you astray, or at least I hope not.
You'd hope not. Yeah, you'd hope not. 100%. Let's unwind that a bit more. Dating and hookup culture at the moment.
Okay.
We kind of touched on it previously in the start of this. What does it look like? What does it feel like to you at the moment? You're obviously a single man.
Yep.
What does it feel like now? How is it different from you now to BC, before Christ?
Okay. It almost goes back to the pornographic.
I'm a monk, actually.
Goes back to the pornographic talk where you have a phone and access to any plethora of app, right?
Yeah.
Tinder. Within 30 minutes, you could have someone,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Now, I just have absolutely no interest, zero interest, and
sorry to cut you off, but that is a hard thing for people to wrestle with, especially if you're a worldly man. That concept there, boys, that's a hard one, because if you're coming into Christianity, you'll be convicted. You'll be like, man, I know this isn't good, but you can't fight the urge alone.
Yeah.
That there is going to be foreign information. The fact that you have no desire.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't have no desire. It's like you still love women.
Yeah.
But you don't look. But you don't look at them the same anymore.
Exactly.
It's
right.
It's not from the perspective of
what can I get out of them. It's
correct.
it's okay. Well, women, what could I give you? And then at this point in this time,
it's just like I don't really.
Recently, I guess the past however long, coming out of a relationship, a very long-term serious relationship, there's parts of me that I'm just not willing to give someone else right now because I want the Lord to work on me and my desires and my heart and the plans that He has now. And some would say that might be a selfish thing to do. But
if it's in pursuit of Christ, it's never selfish.
Like Paul, we go to Paul, never ever married or relationship.
Or Christ.
Or Christ. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, though, lived for Christ.
Yeah.
So he remained
celibate, yeah.
That's right. And his eyes were just for the Lord. And I'm not saying that I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. It's just in this season and for however long, I just have no desire to chase after women.
Yep.
Because I know that the plans that He has for me are fantastic. And I just want to keep my eyes fixed on Him. And I don't have to strive to get a lady. I know at the right time, He'll bring the right one in and He'll tell me when it's go time.
Yep.
And that's when it begins.
Okay. That's an interesting perspective. I think we differ on that. I think in the sense that, you think God will have a woman ready for you.
I'm not saying ready.
Oh, no, but I'm saying like He's going to, for lack of a better word, pop her right there in front of you.
Well, no.
Okay. Explain that. Explain that one. Because they're not going to know.
When I feel like I'm ready, maybe I'll meet one at church.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll meet one along the way. I just think that the way that she'll be brought into my life
is once you've done your work.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's not like, hey, I'm ready.
She's delivered
tomorrow. I met this beautiful woman. She's great. She's all I asked for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be, you'll know. You'll know when it's from the Lord.
Yep.
You'll just be like, yep, this makes sense. I'm ready. The Lord's done a work on me. He knows I'm ready.
How do you know they're from the Lord?
Well, firstly, they're
asking for a mate.
I think firstly they're Christ-minded, Christ-like.
Yeah.
So they're a woman that's same values, morals as me.
Yeah.
We both live for the Lord.
Yeah.
our journeys won't be the same, but I'm sure they'll be met at the right time. And I believe the Holy Spirit will reveal that, like, yes, this is the right one. And that's the point of believing in God, is you read his word to receive wisdom and the Holy Spirit to be spirit-led. And I believe he'll, if she's spirit-led, I'm spirit-led, our paths will cross.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm going to see this woman and all the work. Like, it's going to be the easiest thing in the world.
No way.
It's, you know, she's still a woman, I'm still a man. We need to work for it.
Yeah, 100%. You're still part of the world.
Yeah.
You still live in this social bubble.
Yeah.
You still have the same temptations. Everything's the same thing. You just have a different perspective on how to look somewhere else. Like the goal, again, the goal isn't to get what you want. Relationships are an actual act of worship.
Yeah.
So the way you treat your spouse is a testament of your faith to Christ. That's how, does that make sense? So yeah, as an act of worship and as an act of faith in itself, how you work with your partner, whether it's dating, a full relationship, and then husband and wife, that's you're demonstrating your faith, your worship. So 100%. What are your thoughts though on, say, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you know this, a woman, I don't know what her name is. She's got red hair. I don't know. I think she was an OnlyFans woman.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden she gave her life to Christ, got baptized.
Oh wow.
You don't know people's convictions. How would you navigate, say, if you were in that position and the woman of your dreams happened to be a woman like that who had been involved in some sort of adult realm, gave her life to Christ, and you met her at a church and she was wonderful? That's a tough one.
It is, but past is past. We've all, like, it says one sin is equal to all sins, really.
Oh, okay.
So it's, when I bug it up and she bug it up, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to say, hey, your past is, like, I don't like your past.
Right.
If that was the case, it'd be something I'd love to talk about with her and bring to an open and be like, yep, I'm interested to hear what was going on and why you did it and hear your heart behind it. Obviously, if there was a single doubt in my heart that she was still down that path, see you later. I'm not interested. But she's changed. Christ can change anyone, dude. And he changed me from this, you can say he's just broken dude with many, many issues to a bloke that is content, at peace, is at peace. Someone once said to me, if you want a good girl, go where good girls go, and that's church. You're not going to find a wife at the club.
Nah.
Or very rarely.
Very rarely. And this is up for discussion, and it's not something I live by, but whilst people deserve chances, fantastic. I think Christ does work in their life. However, some part of me, and I don't know if this is something that I should be called out on. I would not, if I was your mate, and if that OnlyFans woman who dedicated life to Christ wanted to date you, I would not let you do it.
But even if it was her past?
Yep.
Why?
Because unfortunately, people, there are consequences to people's lives. Now, I couldn't let you do it, man.
But you're washed clean. As soon as you say yes to Jesus, your sins are forgiven.
You don't know people's intentions as well, though. I just to.
But if Jesus forgives and you can't.
That's true, and this is something I probably need to be called out on. As a mate, I couldn't let you do it. I would be very cautious. I'd be like, hey, bro, the way the world is, whether the intentions are right or whether things are, bruv, if you had another choice, I wouldn't let you do it.
That's interesting.
And vice versa. And don't get me wrong, this is vice versa. If I had a girlfriend, like a girl who was a friend, and I knew a friend, I knew a guy, and he had been through the whole, I don't know, he had a body count of like 120, yeah, he gave his life to Christ, but I'd tell my friend, hey, look, man, some people make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their intentions. Be cautious.
So what? I'm not saying it is.
Yeah.
What if mine was over 100?
Over 100. I'd be
So
I'd be cautious. Yeah, 100%, man. If I'm going to be honest with you, I don't, and I know it's not. So that's a bias, right? Unless it actually is. I don't know. Do I know? I don't know. Maybe I do.
I need glasses, poker face.
yeah. Nah, look, if I'm being honest with you, if yours was 120 and I had a friend that was interested, I'd be honest, man. I'd be like, you need to be honest with her first of all, because say we're both friends, right? You got to be honest with her first of all, and let her make that decision. And I say you got to bear it on the table.
See, I disagree with that.
Go on.
I don't think it matters. I think
as
soon as you say yes to Jesus and make him the Lord of your life.
Mm-hmm. I don't agree. I don't not agree with that. I agree with what you're saying.
As soon as you say that and they're washed clean, I go, yeah, I don't care about your past as long as from that moment forward for the rest of your life, you dedicate your life to Jesus. That's all I care about. Because it's not my prerogative to know what your past is and know every single detail of who you slept with, how many you slept with.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't go into that depth of detail.
But I don't think it's anyone's business for them to know or for them to know. I think that's a marriage or a serious if you're in a serious relationship, that's when you say, "Hey, I feel convicted to tell you that this was my past." If they love you, they'll say, "Yeah, no worries at all." But
this is our first conflict.
If my previous partner told me that she had 200 previous partners, I'd be like,
yeah, and this goes for dudes too. Like, this is not a one-way street. Like this is not a one-way street thing. We're not talking about girls because this is a dudes podcast. But this goes for dudes as well. I would tell a friend, like for instance, my little sister, if I knew this guy was a dirtbag back in the day, I would be skeptical. Wouldn't you be skeptical?
But I feel I'm that dirtbag, dude. I feel I've done so many silly things.
Wouldn't it be an admirable thing to do to tell us, hey, look, I've had this past, up to you to make that decision?
I think it's up to you to tell them.
Yeah.
If you feel led to. I don't think you have to. I think
Isn't that lying by omission?
No, not necessarily. Because if that's the case, then you have to tell them absolutely every single detail of your life. Because if you...
That's a tough one. Talk to us about it, dudes. Like, you guys can see this conversation. It's a bit of a conflict. Maybe I need to be rebuked. You know?
I just think, like, if... Honestly, yeah, I don't care about what people have done in the past. Because if you had slept with 150 people... I know people that were in jail, dude, like ice and doing some silly things, just stealing money. Like, it's all the same. I know what their past is like. Yeah. But I know who they are now and how they live their lives. And that they are completely changed by the way. So, okay, so do you think it would be appropriate for now, knowing that I've shared that, okay, I've had the pornography thing. Yeah. Do you think it'd be appropriate to say, hang on, I wouldn't trust him. He's had a porn issue.
I wouldn't say don't trust him. I'd be like, you know,
So say you knew me, but you were best friends with, say, a lady. Yeah. And maybe we'll...
If she asked me, I would obviously now it's a three-way interaction. Okay. I'm not going to say anything to her that throws you under the bus without me first consulting you.
Okay, great. So fair enough.
Yeah? Yeah. So if she asked me, hey, what was Jakey like prior, and should there be anything that I should be concerned about, I would ask you, hey, you should probably talk to her about certain things. You guys have something that you need to talk about, right? And because I know you guys independently, I would say, yeah, you two need to talk because I'm friends with both of you, and you need to hash that out, because sometimes people are skeptical. They are skeptical. It's just human nature, right? That just might be it. I wouldn't throw you under the bus though.
But are you almost
maybe it's me not trusting.
Are you almost dispowering
The act of forgiveness?
No, the power of Christ and what he can do in the salvation moment. Because what is it almost like is you're saying,
I know
it doesn't matter about your salvation and changing your life and saying yes to Christ. Because you're almost devaluing the salvation.
Mm. My issue is not with Christ. My issue is with people.
Mm-hmm. But wouldn't their actions depict who they truly are anyway?
Yeah.
So what would the matter of the past be rather than why would you focus on the past rather than the future and their future actions?
Because you can still be skeptical. Like people, you only judge future actions by their past. And like, see, that's the thing. I don't say some you like, you know, you talk to somebody, you don't know what they've done. You can only judge them off face value, right? I understand. This can get me into some muddy water. Like, I just have that skepticism about people. I don't trust people. Mm-hmm. People are the issue, not Christ. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, if I don't trust people. Mm-hmm. You don't know what people's convictions are like. People can like that girl. She said she did OnlyFans or she's in the adult industry, but she believes it's her calling. Imagine you dealing with somebody like that.
Yeah.
See, that's
totally different though, because their actions aren't Christ-like.
Mm. But people can people justify things to get away with it. So it's an interesting topic. You guys can chat about it. It's something that you guys can chat about and kind of refer back to us. Maybe I need to be cleaned out properly so I can trust people again. Like nothing bad's happened to me. It's just I'm skeptical on people because I know what people are like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's probably something I've got to work on. That wall that I have up for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just know Christ has changed so many lives and he's changed my life, he's changed your life, he's changed so many people's lives. Yeah. And I've seen them almost become that's what the Bible says, new creation. You are literally a new creation. I am no longer Jake. Yeah. I literally said goodbye to him many years ago. Colin.
Uncle Colin.
I feel Jake.
Wait, who is Uncle Colin?
He's my uncle.
Really?
Yeah.
You got an uncle named Uncle Colin?
His name's not Uncle Colin. His name is Colin, but he's my uncle.
Yeah, he's Uncle Colin.
Yeah, but really? I don't have an uncle called Uncle Colin.
No, you got an uncle called Colin. Yeah, you got Uncle Colin.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you had an uncle called Colin.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, there you go. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why I say Colin's my uncle.
Colin lives in my uncle. Hookup culture. Something me personally, it's not a brag thing. It's just I've never been a part of it.
Yeah. From
what I've seen and what I've heard from people, it's not a place that fills voids. It's not. It's not fun. You feel dirty on the inside. Yeah. You feel shallow. You just feel like you've been kind of used.
Yeah.
Dating has become so transactional in the world that we've lost the sacredness of what an actual relationship is. So when we go into something like a marriage, we have men who are petrified of marriages. How many times does these red pill spaces always talk about, marriage is something that, you got to be careful of. You've got to sign a prenup, this and that. Make sure this girl doesn't treat you wrong, this and that. That's what happens when you marry two worldly people. That's the issues that you have. Yeah. Life has become so transactional that you wouldn't expect anything else.
Yeah.
Hookup culture, pornography, lust, feed all into that nonsense. It feeds into the way you think. It's just a brain rot.
Yeah.
The way you think, the way you act, the way you speak, everything that pours out of your heart comes out through your mouth, through your words, and it's all just been wrapped up in this worldly lust and this desire. Any final words, mate?
I don't think dating is biblical. There's nowhere in the
we've
in
got
the
another
Bible,
10 minutes here.
There's nowhere in the Bible does it say, "Hey, look, let's start dating. Let's start seeing how things are."
He who finds a wife finds a good thing. That's all
right.
it is. So a wife is made to be a wife immediately by the Lord.
Yes. But now dating is so worldly, and I'm the first to admit I more than likely will date my next partner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's just how it is. Yeah. But nowhere within the Bible, at least to my knowledge, has someone gone, "Hey, I like you. Let's see how things are." It's like, "Nah, mate, you're my wife. Let's put a ring on it."
Yeah, and that's interesting because we're in a society where you can get all the benefits of marriage and not have any of the responsibility.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Everyone's got the benefits of sleeping together, of living together, of working together, of I see this person, I see that person, sleep around this. You can get all the benefits of marriage without having to put the actual hard work into that
without signing
marriage.
the contract and putting the finger on it.
The ring on the finger?
Ring on the finger.
Put the finger on it,
The
mate.
finger on it.
Mine. You are mine now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just becomes so transactional that I can get everything that I want from you without me having to sacrifice something.
And that's why I've done it before. When you build a relationship on the physical, the sex, the physical aspects, right? It's like there's no foundation of the relationship. It's hey, I just like you physically. The sex is good. That's it. And of course, when you have sex, you build soul ties.
Yeah.
Your two becomes one, essentially.
100%.
And then you're half of you, half of her. It's just messy.
It's a messy one. And having sex and having soul ties, what happens, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, even if you've noticed this, Jakey, your reasoning capacity to look past things that you would call a red flag disappears.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just look past it. It's like, well, the ability to pull away from a relationship that isn't working becomes tremendously so hard because you have now created a tie with this person. Yeah. That's the whole point of marriage is when you have those rough times, you're bound by the contract or bound by, to be fair, biblical marriage isn't even a paper. It's the consummation of marriage. It's the whole point. You have sex to build that. Two becomes one flesh, man. That's the whole point. That's what sex is designed to do, apart from procreation. It's to build. It's to literally to be one flesh. That's the whole point. And there's only one thing that's more intimate than that, and that's a prayer life together. With that being said, from this point on, how would you, as a single man, proceed into your next relationship? And how would you advise other young men who want to seek a Christian relationship? And I will preface this first. You have to be convicted to do it. You have to be convicted to do it.
To do what?
To be in a relationship with a Christian woman.
Okay, yeah.
If she's a Christian woman and you're lukewarm, it's not going to work. Because I'll tell you what's going to happen. She's going to say to you, as a dude, this is from a dude's perspective, if she's a real Christian woman, she's going to say to you, we are not having sex. Whilst the desire is there and that you both want to be in that space together, she's feeling the same thing too, man. If you're a good-looking rooster, you're an athlete and you're a Christian man or whatever, but you're a Christian man, you're like a lukewarm, you believe, she's going to be attracted to you. Yeah. She's going to be attracted to you 100%. You're going to be attracted to her, and the only thing you want to do is boom, boom, right? She's going to say no if she's a Christian woman, right?
Because she values Christ first.
Right? And that's going to be hard for you. That's going to be a hard pill for you to swallow. Yeah. Your pride's going to get in the way. Yeah. Me is going to get in the way. The selfishness is going to get in the way. You don't believe that it's about serving and honoring that, and that's not going to be a fruitful relationship. Yeah. That's my premise. Well, how would you go on?
To answer your question, she's obviously a Christian woman. That is the biggest thing. Like, for me, like, she has to put Christ first. Yeah. In everything that she does. Then going forward, it's setting boundaries, getting a mentor, saying, hey, could you mentor us and just lead us in the right direction?
So just somebody to keep you accountable.
Someone to keep us accountable. Put some boundaries in place and say, hey, look, this isn't happening. If this happens, it's not going to... Let's just set up some boundaries so we know where the line is. Yeah. Right? And there's no crossing that. There is absolutely no crossing it. Yeah. I've crossed it before. There's not crossing it. Yeah. You draw that line and be firm on it.
Yeah. You stand. You be a warrior. Yeah. On the Bible.
That's right. And
that's how you become a better lover.
Self-control, huge one. Yep. As a dude, self-control. Don't do anything or put yourself in a
predicament.
Yeah, in a silly predicament. Big one, controversial. Do not kiss for more than 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
The holy trinity of kissing.
Yeah, I would say do not kiss for more than 3 seconds. That's probably extreme, but that's just what I've said, because any more than 3, it's like, mate, there's something more than this.
Yeah. Okay. And this is the cringy bit about Christianity and sex life, and again, it's a taboo topic. Have you ever heard of the Christian side hug?
Oh yeah, yeah.
you gotta hug from the side. The old leave room for Jesus ruler. Like these are so cringy. These are such cringy concepts and precepts. Yeah. Yes, it is cringy, but it's going to lead to something that you both don't want at this point in time.
Yeah.
Right? Leave that for the marriage space. Right? Sex was designed for marriage. And again, I'm saying this like we're perfect. We're not, man. We've all made, like, this is not to shame people. We're just telling you, this is how it was designed to be. Yeah. You know?
Exactly.
Me, we've done it, bro. We've done it.
I think of Christmas. You get a present, it's under the tree. All you want to do is unwrap it before Christmas.
Boy.
All you want to do is unwrap it.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, and mum's like, no, just wait because it's going to be worth the wait.
It's going to be unreal, yeah.
Exactly how it is as a Christian. It should be in life.
Yeah.
Just wait. It's going to be worth it.
I learned a saying. Before marriage, the devil wants to take the pants off. After marriage, the devil keeps the pants on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, a lot of dudes end up in sexless marriages because all they did prior, sex, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And they get into a marriage and the devil's just done his job. He's done his job. They don't actually really like each other. The blinders are on.
Mm-hmm.
This person is unsatisfactory.
You need to understand, though, that a relationship needs to be watered. It's not just like put a ring on it, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
You need to take her out on dates.
Yeah.
You need to
court her, man.
You need to set time and actually invest into the relationship.
Yeah.
It's not going to work on its own.
It's not a magic pill.
Exactly.
You're not taking a magic pill. We're Christians, we're going to get married.
Yeah. And it's all going to be happily ever after. No, it's a fairy tale, brother.
It's a fairy tale. It is a fairy tale. Christianity is hard. Mm-hmm. Christianity is hard, man. It's not like you don't get a free pass in life.
It's worth it.
Yeah, everything that's hard is worth it, man. Everything that's hard is worth it.
It's worth it.
Here's another one I quickly want to touch on. Why do Christian people, and I'm sure you guys have seen it a million times, why do Christian marriages always end up in a marriage straight away? Like it's like they date for 2 weeks and they're married in the second or the third week. I have an answer to this, and I can explain.
For me, maybe it's they just know. Like it's just the Lord's in it. Everything is just the Lord is like yes.
Yep.
Spirit led, fantastic.
Yep.
Or it's once let's get jiggy with it.
Yeah. Okay, you're ready to go.
What were you going to say?
No, I definitely agree. I think you ultimately know, because if it's 100%, if it's not 100% yes, it's a no. Mm-hmm. So you'll feel it straight away, right? It's not 100% yes. If it's not 100% yes, it's a no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you said. You're spirit led. The second one is the idea of not having sex takes off all the filters of, is this person actually right for me? Mm-hmm. You don't have that soul tie.
Yeah.
You can see that's a red flag. So you're on your best behavior, and you stay on your best behavior because I get to know you outside of the intimacy of sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, sex puts a huge filter on what people actually are like. Mm-hmm. You start to tolerate things that you shouldn't be. You start to tolerate things that don't make sense. Yeah. You look past the red flags. The red flags are green sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know, sex just applies this filter that should be in marriage. Does that make sense? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So take away sex. Now you can actually deal with the person as a character.
You build foundations.
Yes. You look at this person differently. I'm not trying to get anything out of you, first of all. So if you start acting up, see ya.
Yeah.
I don't want anything from you. That's the whole point. I don't want, as dudes, we just want sex sometimes. Worldly men, even us. If I don't want anything from you, if you start playing up, see ya.
Yeah.
Just cut that tie easy, and it doesn't. There's nothing on you. So when you figure out that person is actually Christ-like, right? And you're spirit-led, and you know, this person, I actually bind and gel well with their behavior and who they are as a person. That's why they get married so young, because they already know.
Yeah,
the filter's gone. There's no filter. And then when they get married, boy, and unwrap the presents, life's good. And then that's it, man. That's it. I'm not saying the marriage is going to last forever, but that's the whole goal. I reckon that concludes episode 3. The lover. Just a quick flashback. Anything you've picked up? Anything you wanna run us through again? Anything you've learnt today?
I enjoyed that we agreed to disagree.
Yeah, healthy disagree.
A healthy disagreement. I'm interested. Bro, I need to like
You're
leather, yellow leather.
You're getting my stutter.
Yeah, yeah.
You know Donnie from the Wild Thornberries? Yeah.
I just think it's healthy to have a
dialogue.
We need to invest in some appropriate material.
Yeah, I know, man. We can't have these girly eyes on looking at us, man. What's going on here, man?
Man.
Giving us the
She's got
vibes.
her eyes on us. It's fine, bro. We got self-control.
That's it, man. Don't look. Brother.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
That's it. Oh, always a chore, never a pleasure with you, bro. MXTC, masculine excellence through Christ. X because I'm illiterate. You're here with your boy Jakey. I'm Zach. We're done. I need to sleep. Yeet. Catch us next time.